What up, y'all? Yeah.
16,000 square, 8 million up there, 2 million down here.
We acting brand new because we got a new sponsor.
When I was born, grandmama could see it. I be Bentley driven and very strategic.
Yeah.
Our room sleeve, no diamonds are needed. Floors are heated, so be
So
it, so
be it,
be
so
it.
be it.
Fucking with P, get something to meet you. Your soul don't like your body, we help you free it. Then we wait for TMZ to leak it. It ain't no secret, so be it, so be it.
That's all we're gonna give y'all because we ain't trying to get in trouble since we got a new sponsor. You feel me? Shout out to the homie Ahun for the shiesty. You feel me? If you look, it's got certain details on it, like the sports and everything. You see this? Then you see this side. Hold up, let me take it off so that way y'all can really get a good glimpse of it. I bet. My bad, y'all. I had to get it back right. Hold up. Here we go. Here we go. So on this side, he put the sports and everything. Baseball, basketball, football. He could have put a couple more, but he was like it was kind of pressed for time, so he just put the big three up there. He put my at right here, and then the head of HR is CDB Multimedia right there. Then on the other side, you got the ad for the pod, Susio Sports with the Z. And then this is my favorite part. The crown with the big bald bearded baddie. Like so shout out to Ahun real quick for the shiesties that he made for everybody. I just wanted to wear mine to open up the episode and hit a little bit of the clips or whatever. I forgot I had something else I was supposed to play at the beginning, but like I forgot what song I was gonna play at the beginning or whatever. So I just went to that one because it was like right there in the recent or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. Like, shouts out to the new sponsor for real. Cause like we wouldn't have been able to do it without them. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Dubby Energy, man. Like for real. Cause it was just it was just like by happenstance and chance, Keys had popped up and said, "Hey, bro, listen, I got a new one." I was like, "Oh, really?" He was like, "Yeah, we good now." I was like, "All right, bet." So, big claps for Keys for getting us that new sponsor. Shout out to W Energy for being a new sponsor. Um, Keys sick tonight, so that's why he not here. Um, but prayers up to him. Hopefully he don't get shy and the kid sick. He said he was isolated from him, so they should be good. But yeah, man. So as soon as we get the promo codes and everything else, we'll make sure to put that out on the socials. We'll be putting that up on the screen here on the pod and everything else. But like we literally like just got this new sponsor. So shout out to W Energy, man. Like for real, for real. One more time for them, man. One more time for them. Shout out to W Energy for real. But yeah, man, like it's been another like crazy week or whatever in sports. You know what I'm saying? Like it's been some wild shit. Um, we've had different people doing and saying different stuff. Just all kind of stuff, man. Just like you know what I'm saying. Like I don't know, bro. It's been wild. It's been wild. But I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? We gonna do what we do. Make sure y'all tuned in and everything. Where my notes at? The fuck? Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, okay. I got it right now. Yeah, I got this plate of chicken wings waiting on me. I may have to eat one or two of them. They still hot as fuck. That's why I was late. I ain't even finished doing the whole beard and face routine. That's why my beard don't look as fresh and my faces look kind of. I mean, it's moisturized, but it's kind of dry. But anyway, I had to take my chicken wings out the oven. But man, let's get right into it because I'm tired. I'm tired, boss. It was another long day at work. How many miles did I walk today? Only 5.5 miles. It's all right. Not too bad. I thought we walked more than that, but I guess that was it. Um, nah, bro, but like it's really been. Oh, Dre, what up, Dre? Dre put that comment in right before the show started. Like I was still like trying to finish up with the beard routine and shit, get out washing and everything else. Bruh, like when I finish here, I'm gonna eat and then I'm gonna put the juices and berries in the beard and the face and everything. Lay down. Um, Matter of fact, while I'm thinking about it, hold up. I'm gonna ghost y'all for 1 second. All right, my bad, y'all, my bad. I had to I gotta take my sleep medicine now because if I take it too late, I'm gonna be too groggy in the morning. And I don't want to be too groggy in the morning. I gotta get up and go to work. And if I don't take this shit, I'm gonna be up all night reading stuff, watching stuff, getting in YouTube rabbit holes, try to watch two Marvel movies and shit like that. Like, nah, I can't do that. I gotta go to sleep. Whew. All right. But yeah, that's also why I wore the so fresh and so clean tuxedo t-shirt. Exactly. That's what made me remember I had the t-shirt on when I saw Drake comment. Cause like we've been like really like going at this thing and keeping it as consistent as possible as we could, trying to stay week to week. We might have to miss a week here or there, or like Key's been having that crazy work schedule and stuff like that. Then he was ready for tonight, then he got sick. Like he was trying to shake it, but he was just like, bro, I couldn't do it. I'm like, bro, like listen, it's oh hold on, let me plug this up. Make sure I plug this just in case the battery just starts to die down on the laptop. But yeah, man, like so we try to keep it consistent for y'all, keep y'all informed, entertained without all that fluff and bullshit that other people put out there. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes Keys like to come in here with this little crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? Or like I may even say some crazy shit, some wild shit from time to time. But it's like we're gonna stand behind what we say, what we present to y'all, and we try to bring as good information and inform y'all as possible because I know a lot of times out there people get centelled, quote unquote, and they get fake information or uncredited sources or like I heard the Rams was gonna trade Matthew Stafford. It's like, bro, where did you hear that from? You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. But anyways, speaking of the NFL, we had the first preseason game uh last week. And this weekend is a full slate of preseason games coming up. So it's gonna be important to look at it's gonna be important to look at like the schedule. Don't focus on um whoever whoever plays and starts or whatever else it is like that. Like try not to focus on that because it oftentimes it doesn't mean a whole hill of beans, okay? And we got games coming up Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Uh with Saturday, well tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. actually. So we got 3 games Thursday, 3 games Friday, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8 games on Saturday, and then 2 more on Sunday. So you if you tune into your local teams or whatever, or you have NFL Network, or if you got one of the packages or something like that, then you'll be able to tune into all those preseason games. I'm gonna probably be trying to dip in and out, because I know I got a work thing after work on Friday that I gotta go to. Then I'm working. Well, Saturday, I don't think it's gonna interfere with anything too much. I think one game it starts early, but the rest of the games start after 3 or whatever. So we could dip into them like really good. I could get in a good bit of them, but I know that Texans game I'm gonna be paying attention to. That Browns game on Friday night, I'm gonna try to peep the first part of it, but I might have to end up watching the replay of it because I'm not gonna be off yet when Shadur is in the game, since I believe they say he's starting. I also want to see that Jets Green Bay game Saturday night to see how Justin Fields looks in his first looks with his new team. That early Saturday game, the Giants and the Bills, I want to peep that just to see like what Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, and Jackson Dart, those 3 guys look like over there with that quarterback competition. Also the Tennessee Tampa game on Saturday evening to see what Cam Ward looks like. Um, it was another game I was looking at. Of course, I'm trying to watch my Saints. I do want to see that Miami Chicago game Sunday afternoon to see what Caleb Williams looks like. Uh, Also to see what if Tyreek Hill plays and how much he plays, because that's still up in the air in question. But yeah, man, it's gonna be some good stuff, some real good stuff going on. There was one other game I said I wanted to keep an eye on. I'm trying to look for it. It was the Jacksonville. Oh, there it goes. Pittsburgh and Jacksonville. That's the one. And that one to me is the one I really want to keep an eye on because I want to see number one, if Aaron Rodgers plays. Two, if he does play, how much does he play? And three, how does he look? Plus, Will Howard is hurt. So I want to see if Will Howard is hurt and can't play and Aaron Rodgers doesn't play, well, who else plays quarterback for the Steelers? And that's just the Steelers side of things. We ain't even talk about Jacksonville because, of course, I want to see what Sunshine is going to do at quarterback if he plays and how much he plays, but also just to watch Travis Hunter in his first action. Um, the Cleveland game, I also want to peep out. What's his name? The kid they drafted, the defensive tackle from Michigan. Um, Mason Graham. Yeah, Mason Graham. I want to see what Mason Graham looks like. Um, so it's some interesting stuff on the NFL schedule. Like most people tend to, they only want to watch like the beginning of the preseason game because that's typically when most of the stars or starters are going to play or whatever. But to me, I love watching the entire games or as much of the game as I can pay attention to because, of course, I have ADD, so I'll change from game to game to game, flipping back and forth, whatnot. But I like to see like what other rookies look like rookies that I've either watched or followed since college. What other players look like when they're trying to climb the depth chart on a new team or what have you. There are some veterans that change teams or towards the end of their careers or sign as a free agent or what have you, or what they're looking like with their new teams. So there's a ton of different reasons why I like to watch most, if not all, of preseason games. Plus, I just love football, and when we get preseason football back, we haven't had football in like 6 months, almost 6 months, 5 months, 6 months. So it's like, damn, man, like let me enjoy for that 6 months. Like we haven't had football in 6 months. That's half a year with no football games being played. Like yes, the UFL or XFL or whatever is back and all of that. That's cool, but I'm talking about NFL football, like football at its highest level. We haven't had that shit in 6 months, bruh. 6 months. Know what I'm saying? I start to look like Pookie on New Jack City. I need it, man. It just keep calling me. I need it injected in my veins. Like, yes, I need my hit. I need my fix. Yes, Dre, it's been way too fucking long, bro. Like, and it's just, bruh, like it be really be like that though, bruh. Like, this is how come I got into all the extracurricular shit as a kid, right? So, like, I remember for every Super Bowl, my family would get together. We'd have a party, drinks, snacks, all kinds of shit, right? And I'm like, all right, cool. And then like sometimes the following week used to be the Pro Bowl, right? I'm like, all right, cool. And then there was no more football. And I'm like, hey, when football come back? And then my dad would be like, you gotta wait till August, September, son. Like, wait, what? Like, so you mean I gotta finish out the school year and go my whole summer before I get football back? Man, that's some bullshit. Like, I used to be pissed. So then I would start looking in the newspaper and stuff and like trying to figure out when other things were going on or what was going on, keeping up with stuff or different things like that. And I end up finding one time like a timeline of the NFL's offseason or something like that. And I remember clipping it out and pasting it in this notebook that I had, right? And I was like, okay, cool. So that means when this happens, when this happens, okay, cool. This is when we're getting closer to having football back. And ever since I was a kid, like elementary school, that's when I knew, like, okay, the offseason schedule. We got the Pro Bowl, we used to take place after the Super Bowl. Then you'd have free agency, you'd have the draft, you'd have mini camps, OTA, all that kind of. Well, some of that stuff came in later, but I used to know the timeline and would have certain checkpoints. And I knew like when summer was after 4th of July, when summer was almost over with for us and it was almost time to go back to school, I'm like, all right, preseason games, training camp. Like when we would go to Saints training camp or get those tickets or whatever the hell, I'm like, okay, football is almost back. When you start seeing that kind of stuff, back to school stuff, after 4th of July stuff, okay, football's almost back. And it was weird because I used to time it up with baseball used to have two trading deadlines, July 31st and August 30th or whatever. 31st was the regular trade deadline. August 30th, 31st or whatever used to be like the waiver wire trading line. So I used to use that as a guide as well. So it was like I always use something to try to gauge when football is coming back. And I'll never forget when my kids got into it and they would ask like, "Hey, so what games are when is football coming back?" And I'd be like, "Well, let me tell you." So I educated them early on, like, "Hey, we got to go through all of this offseason shit, all these months before like games start back." So it was just funny, man, because like they're still kind of into it and stuff like that, and like they have their teams that they like to watch and players that they like to follow, and they talk big. It's a lot of shit talking about the start in this house, like in the next month or so. So I'm excited. They're excited. You know, the damn dog excited. Club 8907 be jumping over here. Labor Day is when I pay attention. No, like, okay. So when you get to Labor Day, that's when you know, okay, the regular season is about to start. Like, I always used to, like, when I was really heavy playing fantasy football, I would say wait till after the final cut before we have the draft because you don't know who's going to get cut. You don't know who's going to get picked up on certain teams and stuff like that. Like there are certain checkpoints that you need to wait till. Some people have their fantasy draft early as hell, and then players get injured in camp. Um, players get they get cut and then sign with another team, or there's even been late trades and stuff like that. So you just never know, man. You need to wait until that final cut day, then have your fantasy drafts. To me, that's just the smartest, most optimal time to do it because that's when the rosters are solidified. You know where people are going to be, you know about where certain guys are going to be on the depth chart. So when you're drafting like that third, fourth, fifth, you know, running back or receiver or what have you, or you're looking for that defense or that kicker later on in the draft, like you know where these people are going to be, certain things like that. So all of that like stuff factors into it. But if you want to have your draft early before, preseason or cuts have been made, hey, by all means, do what you do. But just know that that final cut day can affect parts of your draft. Maybe not early on, but later on, definitely is going to affect later on parts of your draft. So I always try to tell people keep that in mind when they're going into fantasy football. Don't look here for too much fantasy football advice. I'm gonna be honest with y'all because I'm okay at it. I'm not the. I used to be really good at it because I used to follow it a lot more closely. But lately I haven't been following it as closely, so I haven't been as good. So I'm just letting y'all know, like, be careful. Do not follow me for fantasy football advice. You feel me? Um, Shout out to everybody who tweeted, retweeted, or quote tweeted the post and the pod and everything. You know what I'm saying? I really do appreciate y'all, man. Like the love and the support, love all that. Like I be mad because sometimes like I can't watch everybody's stuff or whatever. But one thing I will do is if I see your shit up, then I'ma definitely repost it or whatever. Like for example, um, shit, Sports for You Wrestling, they live right now. About to retweet theirs because they live right now. And I don't care because I'm gonna show love to people who show me love. Like even if people don't show me love, I'm gonna still show love just because like that's just the kind of person I am. Like, you know what I'm saying? People fuck with you, you fuck with them. Matter of fact, I remember meeting Jonathan and them we was in Vegas for Mania. Cool ass people, man. We were sitting there chilling at Wale Mania, chopping it up and stuff. They cool, they good people. So I'm always show love to everybody. Two dope marks, met them in Vegas at Mania. Good dudes, great pod too. Great pod, intelligent sports talk, intelligent wrestling talk, and stuff like that. Black guy wrestling, really good sports talk. Backstage brawl. I've been on their show multiple times. Love those guys. I had them on here before. Like, love those guys. Marks with Mikes, JT, Cheech and them, Dallas. Like them dudes do some good stuff, man. Like, so it's a lot of love being shown for Susio Sports, and we just like to make sure we pour that love back out and reflect that love back out on everybody else that's showing us love. So applause again for everybody who's showing us love and we showing them love back because that's what it's all about, supporting your people and everything else and trying to see everybody, level up because the pie big enough for everybody to get a slice. Whether you want to recognize it or not, ain't no reason to gatekeep, ain't no reason to hate, hold back, or be shady or nothing like that, man. It ain't no reason for none of that. It's just like last night, me, Gresh, and Highlight had a great time doing the pod, and Public Enemies show us love, we show them love back because Gresh is on their show. But at the same time, like it's just a love thing. Like everybody shows everybody love, everybody retweets everybody's stuff, everybody comes in, it settles down, comments, likes, whatever. Like matter of fact, when y'all come in here, run them likes up on YouTube. I appreciate y'all. But nah, man, there's a lot of like quarterback battles and teams that you're going to be looking for this year in the NFL to get back to it. Um, some of those games that I highlighted, and I said that on purpose because I focused on a lot of the quarterbacks and stuff to see what they're going to do. Also, that Washington New England game to see what Drake May is going to look like, and the Atlanta Detroit game Friday night to see what Michael Penix is going to look like. His first chance getting to start. Um, what else, man? The Denver San Francisco game. I want to see what Bo Nix is looking like in year 2 under Sean Payton. Just to see what he comes up with. So there's a lot. Geno Smith in Vegas tomorrow night going against his old team, the Seattle Seahawks. It's a late start. It's 9 o'clock my time, so 10 o'clock on the East Coast, 7 o'clock on the West Coast, 8 o'clock if you're in the mountains. I do want to peep that as well because even though it's a preseason game, it's still something in it for him because he's going against his old team too. I wonder how the Lions offense will be without Ben Johnson. Interesting question. Very interesting question. Um, that's something I think we'll have to wait maybe a couple games into the season before we can really get a grasp on it. But preseason will tell you some stuff about certain things. Now, one thing I will tell people about preseason Teams are going to keep it pretty vanilla, pretty close to the vest. They're not going to show all their best stuff. They're not going to show all their good blitz packages. They're not going to show all their good deep shot plays or certain plays, whatever. It's going to be very basic, very vanilla. You may see some stuff, but there's not a whole lot that you're going to see in preseason, like to where it's like, oh, wow, like look at this play that they just pulled out. Pause. But you will see some stuff that's pretty damn interesting, just to see how certain players play. One of the things I also look at in preseason is how well do offensive lines gel. How well do defensive lines gel together? Because when you're playing next to somebody, especially on the offensive line, you have to move as a unit, the whole offensive line. But that left tackle looks better when that left guard is good. That left guard looks good when that center is good. That center looks good when that right guard is good. The right tackle, so on and so forth, and back the other way. So to see guys when they're finally playing together, playing next to one another, especially on the offensive line, huge thing to look at. Defensive line, same thing. Because, for example, if you have a D tackle and, like, let's just say your defense is set up to where your D tackles hit certain gaps and try to take on double teams to leave the ends to rush up the field one on one, you want to see how they're attacking those gaps. If they're going one on one, are they beating the one on ones? If they do try to pull stunts or games, tight end in, stunts, games, twists, whatever you want to call it, how well do they execute that? So, like, there's little things that I tend to look for, stuff like that. When I look at linebackers, I want to see how well they go sideline to sideline. How well do they chase down the play? Are they covering in space with these tight ends and running backs and sometimes receivers that they may get matched up on? Boundary corners that typically go on the outside. I want to see, do they use the sideline as a friend? Are they playing tighter coverage? Are they playing bump and run, so on and so forth? Like, are they playing more zone and how they're playing in that zone? Like, there's a lot of different things that I look at when I look at a preseason game. I'm not just watching it just to see, like, oh, wow, football's back. Like, no, like, I get really analytical and really diagnose, like, what I'm watching and stuff like that. But I've always been that way, and I have a couple of good friends of mine that are deep in the game, and I'll text them and ask them questions and stuff like that. So it is what it is, man. But glad that football is back. Um, I can't wait to see, like, what everybody looks like and how everybody feels after this first weekend of football games. Simply because what happens most of the time is people will either get really excited or they'll get really anxious in a bad way about what their team looks like after that very first preseason game. And it means absolutely nothing. We've seen teams that have gone winless in the preseason go and win the Super Bowl. We've seen teams that win the Super Bowl or, like, go undefeated in preseason and then they're picking in the top 10 of the draft. So it is what it is. Thoughts on the Micah situation? I'm gonna be honest with you. Jerry Jones is an attention whore. Always has, always will be. And I don't want to sound morbid or anything, but imagine what this man's funeral is going to look like. If he wants this much attention while he's alive, imagine what his funeral is going to be like. I can't. I like it. He's probably going to have it at AT&T Stadium. They're going to sell tickets to it. They may even broadcast it on TV or something like that. Like, it's going to be a spectacle. They may have performances, all kind of shit. But Jerry Jones is an attention whore. And a lot of the times, being an attention whore, he does that to the detriment of his team. And what I mean by that is, last offseason, for example, he could have signed CD and Dak earlier in the process and saved them cap space. He waited and cost them cap space. This whole Micah Parsons situation, he could have done that last year as well. He waited. Now the price went up on edge rushers, defensive ends, what have you. Now you have a price range where you could have signed him for $5 to $6 million per year less than what you're going to have to probably sign him to now. because he's 26, 25, 26 years old. He's coming off his rookie contract and has the most sacks in the last 3 to 4 years in the league. Like, I'm just saying, bro. Like, the man he's literally costing himself money by letting this contract situation drag out. He does it to himself all the time and every year. And this is what you get. This is what you get with Jerry Jones. Jerry will have a 30-minute speech from beyond. I would not be surprised. It'll probably be a hologram of him, and he's gonna have something to say. I would not be surprised if the Bengals pay Trey. Price is gonna go. Oh man, listen. Now I'm gonna put it to you like this: the difference between those two ownership groups, the Bengals are just notoriously cheap and nitpicky. Whereas Jerry Jones, he'll pay, but he drags his feet on stuff because he wants to stay in the headlines and everything. This happens all the time, and so a lot of the times, like, and this is why, like, Dre on 290, Total Dallas, Dustin, like, this is why I love them as Cowboys fans because they're gonna be seriously real about how they feel about the Cowboys, and they're gonna keep it real with you. And to listen to those guys talk about the Cowboys, even though they're lifelong hardcore Cowboys fans, they are not like the delusional, typical quote unquote Cowboys fans. Those guys keep it real. They know what the deal is, and they're fed up with Jerry. Like, they're tired of it. They're waiting for him to, like, go on somewhere. Like, we know he will never give up control as long as he has breath in his body. So they're literally having to wait for this guy to kick the bucket before they can really enjoy this team the way it's going to be run, hopefully by Steven, and I believe the daughter's name is Charlotte. So hopefully by then the team will run much smoother than what it's running right now under Jerry. But yeah, you're right, man. Like, if 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 they wait until the Bengals, if and when or whatever the Bengals pay Trey Hendrickson, then yeah, that the price is definitely gonna go up. And it's definitely gonna be something that's like, I mean, right now I want to say the highest paid non-quarterback right now is at oh shit. Um 41 million a year, something like that. So you could have gotten away with like 35 or so last year, maybe 32 or so, something like that last year. Now you up in the $40 million range. You costing yourself money by dragging your feet. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why are you doing that to yourself? Cowboys will win Super Bowl when Jerry's gone. The devil promised him three. Say, bruh, like, Dre be killing me with that because he firmly believes that Jerry made a deal with the devil, and that's why Jerry hasn't gotten over the hump since then. Because he got them three, and that's it. So we be having some of them, morbid conversations, some of them goofy jokes and stuff like that that we'll pass back and forth or whatever. But nah, man, like, I really believe that the Cowboys have the capability to win a Super Bowl while Jerry is still alive. It's just that he's going to keep getting in the way of them having exactly what they need, when and how they need it. And one of the biggest things is like, he always wants to have a coach he can have under his thumb. That's always been his thing because he does not want a coach who's going to be a bigger or stronger personality than he is for his own team. That's one of the other things that tends to hold this team back. Because he could have hired Bill Belichick, but he don't want to give up control and he don't want to have Belichick outshine him. That's why I knew that was never going to happen. So it just is what it is, man. And unfortunately for Cowboys fans, they have to suffer through it. And there are some Cowboys fans that I legit got love for, and I feel sorry for them because it's like, damn, like, look at this shit. But one of my homeboys was a lifelong hardcore Cowboys fan. He jumped ship. He jumped ship to the Texans. And he put in our group chat one day, he was like, man, we don't have this problem over here. He was like, I don't know how y'all still doing it. I seen the graphic adapts cap hit is bigger than Hurts, AJ, and Smitty combined. Yeah. But that's because Howie Roseman is very smart, very intelligent. He knows when and how to re-sign his players, and he gets it done. So that's totally different. Also, those guys were re-signed like way before the Cowboys guys were signed. So in that next man up game, the price is going to go up, the guaranteed money is going to go up, and all of that. So don't just look at it like the cap hits are bigger than this or whatever. It's when they re-signed their deals. What was the market set at, and did they get top of the market or mid market or lower end of the market value when they got re-signed? Because the market gets reset every single year with every single signing. So that's another thing to pay attention to as well. Don't just look at it like, from that one perspective, but it does make sense though. Yeah, I mean, it's funny now, but you know how it is as a Cowboys fan, Dre. Like you understand like what it's like to be a Cowboys fan. It's not that much fun. And it's like it gets frustrating because you always have this hype going into the season, and then you get this roller coaster of a season, and however that roller coaster lets you off, which typically has been, terribly in the playoffs, especially or at the end of the season. Like it's just frustrating to deal with. Smitty will ever jump ship to get what? No, nah, I don't think so. That kid, I want to say one of my cousins was teaching at the school or in the town or in the part of town of Louisiana where he's from when he was going to high school in Louisiana. And from what I understand, he's really cool, really humble, team guy, always a team first guy. And he just wants to be a cog in the wheel. I don't think he'll ever like jump ship for money or anything like that. I really don't. Um, so I wouldn't worry about that if I was an Eagles fan. I think Smitty's gonna stick around for a long, long time, because he likes it there. He likes what's going on. If anybody, I could see AJ Brown wanting to leave or something like that, but I wouldn't see Smitty doing it. I don't switch though. Cowboys for life. And I ain't letting Lucy pull the ball away from me. Say, bruh. Jerry plays the part of Lucy, and y'all Cowboys fans be Charlie Brown every year, bruh. It's like that every year. You know what I'm saying? It's like that every year. So, and there go the other Dre. Now we got both of them in here. It's gonna be chaos. But nah, man, like it's just sometimes, man, being fans of certain teams, depending on the way they're run, it's extremely frustrating. Extremely frustrating. Um, I know, for example, as a Saints fan, I can't wait till Mickey Loomis is fired. I'll just leave it at that. Here these two go. The duo is here. The dynamic duo. Yeah, and I know you don't drink the Kool-Aid. I know you don't. But it's frustrating to see Cowboys fans get their hopes up every season and then get let down every season. And it's like, damn, man, like how much more can you endure like this? Amen. Amen. I mean, we have good days, we have bad days, bro. Like I had an okay day today. It wasn't as good as I wanted, but it was better than yesterday and it was better than Monday. So fuck it. Ball up top. You know what I'm saying? Ball up top. Straight up, Dre. Exactly. Praying hands. Broncos Nation till I'm in the grave. That's another one. Hardcore Broncos fan will never switch up on his squad. Ever. Like, and I love fans like that because you're gonna ride or die for your squad. Like, I was at work the other day and I had my Saints cup. Matter of fact, this one right here that my dad got me with my name on it and everything. One of my coworkers said, "Hey man, somebody that's your cup?" Like, yeah, man, somebody put graffiti on your cup. They da 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 da. I'm like, oh, here you go. And I forgot to ask him who's he a fan of because I was ready to tear into him big time. Because I'm like, if you tell me a team that I think you're gonna say, you don't have a leg to stand on, bro. You walk around on two peg legs. You know what I'm saying? And I got a can full of termites. Like you better chill out because you don't know who you're talking to. Like you think you're talking to a regular fan, you ain't talking to a regular fan. So I'll eat your pause. Anyway, realistic fans. Exactly. That's the thing about like a lot of my friends. I see like most of them are pretty realistic. And then I got some of them that's not really realistic, and I gotta bring them back down to earth. I gotta like they be up in the clouds, and I be like, get your ass back down here. These are all choices. Yes, but Sierra, you gotta let us make our choices because we love our teams. And we will ride or die with our teams. And there is a certain thing, an honorable thing about being an honorable sports fan is sticking with your team no matter what. Like that's a real thing. It's a real thing. Anyone who is a Saints, Bills, Lions, Browns, Jets, Giants, or Raiders will never cheat in the relationship. They understand loyalty. Say, man, talk about it. Talk about it. Talk about it, bruh. Like you could say that again, big dog. Like that man, that's comment of the night so far, Dre. Comment of the night so far. Sierra don't even watch football. She don't know our pain. Exactly. Exactly. She don't know our pain, bruh. Like, do you know how hard it was to be a Saints fan after Jim Haslett became coach, and then we went through Katrina? Like that shit was wild. I'm not letting. There's no letting on my end. Y'all already made these choices. See, she want to stay with her foot on our neck about something that we don't care about. Like you could keep your foot on our neck. I don't care. I'm gonna stay a Saints fan till I die. I'm gonna be objective as fuck, and I'm still gonna get like I guarantee you. I gotta call my uncle Daryl and check on him. And when I call him, I already know he gonna ask me, man. So what you think about these quarterbacks, bro? What you think? Uncle D, like I'm telling you right now, it may not look good. It could go really well or really bad. It's gonna go one of them two ways. Either they're gonna win 10 games or they're gonna lose 10 games. One of them two ways. It ain't no in between. Because the defense not good enough. The offense got some weapons. The O line is still questionable. But it's like, they got some stuff to work with, but they ain't got that much talent on either side of the ball to say that they can rely on X or Z. X, Y, or Z. So it's just like, damn, what we gonna do? Just gotta wait it out. I was basically in emotional turmoil as a Peyton Manning fan, retiring up to the end of the draft. Both down. Hey man, that shit was so crazy, bro. When they got it, Bo Nix and Dre asked me there, Dre was like, "Do you think this is gonna work out?" I was like, "Listen, if he pays attention to what Sean Payton tells him to do and he does what he wants to do, like they may be all right. But I said if he challenges him or gets into it with Sean Payton, it ain't gonna go well." Look, we know this. We understand this. We get that we made these choices, but we're willing to live with the choices that we've made. Like Jay-Z said, in order to survive, you got to learn to live with regrets. Pat. Oh, he said, don't bring up Paxton Lynch or Drew Lock. Brock Osweiler. Don't forget him, big dog. It's enough time passed for Aaron Brooks apologists to come out of the woodwork. Bro, I never stop because I think Aaron Brooks was one of the better quarterbacks in Saints history. He led them to their first playoff win. So that has to be held in high regard when it comes to Saints history. Like they did not have a playoff win until Aaron Brooks showed up. It is what it is, bro. Imagine having Quincy Carter as your starting quarter. Oh, yeah. Yeah. 1910. 1910, my guy. 1910. Every Houston Texan fan is gonna keep drop. Every time you say Quincy Carter, they're gonna say 1910. One of Jaden Daniels bad. Trevor Simmons. Bruh, like, but the worst part about it was those Lynch, Locke, Simeon, they had decent pieces around them. They just weren't good quarterbacks at all. So it is what it is, bro. You just gotta sometimes you just gotta take it on the chin. Pause. But I mean, hey, bro, you gonna leave Case Keenum out of this. Don't talk about Case. Third Ward Case, like the whole city of Houston will ride for Third Ward Case. Like you can't say nothing bad about Case Keenum nowhere in Texas, pretty much, especially not in Houston. You say something bad about Case Keenum in Houston, you liable to get dealt with. Folks love that white boy here. Nah, but I'm glad everybody fired up for football season, man. It's dope to see everybody fired up for football season and stuff. And still money from Denver. Bro, y'all didn't have him. Y'all didn't have everything he needed to succeed back then. So you gotta give him a little. Everybody loved Teddy, bro. That's why Tampa brought Teddy back. Teddy Bridgewater, Case Keenum, guys like that, they're like the perfect backup veteran quarterback to have on your roster because they got a ton of experience. Um, they have a proven track record and they know how to get the job done. So that's why you'll see, them kind of guys always getting love. All this quarterback talk made me glad I got the experience. Drew Brees, poor Browns fans have been in purgatory. Bro, I saw the last updated Cleveland Browns jersey with all the names of the quarterbacks on the back. They damn near running out of room on that jersey. I think they're gonna have to have an extension to that jersey just to add more names to it. That's how many names that jersey has on it. It is sick. Matter of fact, let me see if I could find that, man, because that's something that's really interesting to see. What the hell? I thought I was typing on this thing. God damn it. Here we go. Here we go. All right, here we go, y'all. Here y'all go. Bam. And that was just after Flacco and Jeff Driscoll. That's not even all of them. I think Keenum was a quarterback for the. Yes, he was. And I don't want to talk about it. Like I said, I don't want to talk about it. I'm convinced if you hate R Truth, Fitz Magic, James Winston, Teddy Bridgewater, then you're a terrible person. Bro, like exactly. You can add Case Keenum to that list too, even though I know you hate it. Bruh, Jameis is a funny ass dude though, bruh. He a good dude too, like a real good dude. Like Jameis just a real good dude. And people give Jameis shit all he wants or whatever, but Jameis is just like he's still just a really good dude. Like you can't make me hate Jameis Winston. I'm sorry. Like I just will never hate Jameis Winston. His positivity is so unfair. Yes, and this is why I'm glad it's him and Russell Wilson with Jackson Dart in that quarterback room in New York. because you have two solid vets who are team first guys who just want to win, who, especially Jameis more than Russell, I just from my perspective, will want to help that kid get better. So Jackson Dart couldn't ask to be drafted to a better situation, I think. As far as having quarterbacks in the room that's going to help you want to succeed, I genuinely want to see Jameis win that life. Bro, brother is already winning that life. He has a great wife, great kids. He's made a ton of money in the NFL. And the best job in the NFL is a backup quarterback because you get paid millions of dollars to just be ready just in case something happens. Like backup quarterbacks are like fire extinguishers, well paid fire extinguishers. You hope you never have to use it, but it's always got to be ready if you do need to use it. They're like well-paid fire extinguishers. That's what a backup quarterback is in the NFL. So I just wish I had as much talent as some of these guys have to be a backup quarterback. Because, bruh, I would love to just practice, go to meetings, and then hold an iPad or the Microsoft tablet or whatever every Sunday and put on a headset. That's the life. You mean to tell me I get paid to work out, practice, and study, and I'll never really have to get hit? Hell yes, sign me the fuck up tomorrow to yesterday. Because of that quarterback room and that why I wanted to see Sajir after that. It would have been good, but I think with Shadur's name and that attention from that New York media market, it would have been a little crazy for him. After that amazing coverage he did for the Super Bowl and NOLA, he literally bought himself a lifetime game. Bro, I'm like low key, I want to see Jameis keep playing, but also I can't wait till he retires and gets a job in media. He is going to kill it, because he has the personality for it, for sure. How many Super Bowl champions quarterbacks are backups currently? I would have to text me that and remind me, because that's gonna take a little bit of research right now. But like, text me that and remind me, Dre, like tonight or something, so I could look that up and have that ready for next week. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put that on the rundown for next week. Y'all just gonna have to wait, because if I don't, I know Dre probably gonna forget to text me. That's why I'm doing it right now, because I told that dude to text me, and I know he gonna forget. So backup QBs are Super Bowl winners. Now that one, um, I'm not even gonna say they were the starting quarterback for a Super Bowl winning team. I'll just say they were on a roster that won a Super Bowl. I'll put it like that. Let me put it like that. As a matter of fact, let me add that. Just on a roster that won a ring. Episode 87. All right, let me make sure I put that little note there, because if I don't remember to put episode 87, I'm gonna think it's a note from this week and then I'll erase that shit. So yeah, James needs a reality show. He does and he doesn't. Because I think a reality show would be a little bit too much exposure for him. I think him doing what he does media wise, like around his football schedule, works perfectly. I just think it's just Flacco and Russ, but I'll check to be sure. It could be, but there may be more than that. It's just I gotta dive into it, because like if we just talking about they were just on a roster and may have won a ring, you could have like 3 or 4 different guys like that. So it just really depends. That right there, that could be a whole podcast, because I've gone on rants numerous times talking about how I don't like the way sports journalism and sports media has gone over the years, how it's become more clickbait and hot take-ish, how writers and journalists have gone from writing and journalism and everything to like these full-fledged media personalities. How some outlets are just relying on former athletes to provide hot takes because they have hot takes about stuff. How former athletes and stuff like that have turned also the podcast game into it's the same thing with entertainment and whatnot. They're just flooding the market just because they were former athletes or whatever and they have a platform, and all they do is the same shit that everybody else does, spit out hot takes and crazy shit just to get their numbers up, and they already have a platform, so if they say crazy shit, it's going to blow up even more. So that's basically what it is and how I feel about it. Flacco, Foles, and Wilson. So look, of course, that's my answers. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, so you were talking about former starters who are now backups. Okay, okay, got you. I was just talking about backup quarterbacks who may have just been on the roster. I think that list is a little bit longer than just those three guys. But Flacco, Nick Foles, and Russell Wilson. Even current athletes do it too, Dre. You are right. You are right. Only people I see keeping real journalists out is the Ringer, to be honest. Don't agree with Bill Simmons on everything, but him and his guys are all actual journalists. Yeah, and I know I show love to the Ringer because I got homeboys that work over there, especially Brian H. Waters. Like, shout out to the homie Brian H. Waters, man, because he's one of the people that helped me like make sure I got the right equipment and everything that I needed to do this. Hot take isms has ruined sports media. Bro, between the hot take isms, the clickbait shit, and the fake stories that they put out, like some of these, websites and social media accounts put out, it's ridiculous. It's gone from like, and this is why NBA Centel always gets people, and they even have a pro wrestling like Centel like parody account or whatever that gets people with fake wrestling news now. Uh, the NFL stuff gets ruined by the fake Adam Schefters and Ian Rappaports and whatnot. So it's permeated throughout entertainment, other sports and everything else. It's just ridiculous nowadays. Crazy because 10, 12 years ago, Foles, Flacco, Wilson were all still among the good to elite echelon of quarterbacks. It happens. Mother Nature and Father Time are both undefeated, my guy. Like, you ain't gonna be good forever. And Flacco parlayed that Super Bowl run with the Ravens into a 6-year, $120 million contract extension, and never really like lived out that whole extension or whatever. He never lived up to it. But I mean, he still has a job because he's a solid veteran quarterback. Also, it could be a whole podcast segment, self former athlete to grifter pipeline. Looking at you, RG3. That right there is why I will never want to really get tackled into that topic too much, because I don't want to hate on somebody getting their bag. It's just the way you go about getting your bag is kind of shady, shitty, and it just seems like low hanging fruit. And I really don't have respect for people who do that kind of stuff. Like, you're a former pro athlete, you already got a platform, you already have like an audience. Why do you have to go to the grifter, hot take-ish, I'm gonna take these odd stances on things just because like I want to be different, I want to stand out, stick out. Like, I don't respect that whole thing, So yeah, I don't really have too much to say about people who do that. The only real NBA news we have is the Luka Doncic extension that he signed with the Lakers. And we already saw that the Lakers saying that they're going in that direction with Luka over LeBron, and the whole, what is LeBron going to do after this year, is a whole hot thing right now. But also, De'Aaron Fox signed a 4-year, $229 million extension with the Spurs, so he's sticking around as Wemby's running mate. And Trae Young is eligible for that same exact 4-year, $229 million extension this summer. But I want to see if the Hawks are actually going to offer it to him and see what's going to happen, see how that's going to transition. And, because Trae Young is a good player, but they haven't really done anything. And the thing is like, You could say they're overpaid. That's just the way it is with sports now, bro. That's just the way it is. So it is what it is. Um, yeah, I'm gonna cover that Disney news and stuff like that. I'm gonna cover that towards the end, but I'm just making sure I get through everything else first. But yeah. So it's the thing is when you're eligible for those extensions, like I talked about a few weeks ago on the pod, is it all depends on years in the league, years with your current team, all NBA teams, if you won any awards and things like that. That's what goes into what factors into what level of max extension you can get. So that's what goes into all of that. It's not just about if you think a person is overpaid or something like that, man. It's like, hold on, I'm trying to kill a bug or something. I don't know what the hell that is. But anyway, that's what goes into those NBA extensions. That's why I keep telling people you can say a guy is overpaid or whatever, but if he qualifies and he hit those sets that he has to hit in order to qualify for that supermax extension, then that's what you're gonna get. Especially when you stick with one team and you've been in the league, 8, 9, 10 years, and you've made all-star teams, all NBA teams, and things like that. That's what sets you up for those type of extensions. Yeah, so Um, that new TV deal is about to get the NBA, WNBA paid big time, big time. Why you on basketball with his coach Pop Ringfield is an all-time coach? I'll be honest, man. I think Pop is on the Mount Rushmore of NBA coaches of all time. It's Red Auerbach, of course, Phil Jackson, Pat Riley, and Popovich. Those are the top four for me. Like, if I had to pick, a Mount Rushmore, quote unquote, of NBA coaches of all time, it would be those four guys right there. Give me a second. Let me pull up these standings right quick. But yeah, so it's not as much NBA news, just a couple of extensions here and there, whatnot, and guys eligible for extensions. Nothing really going on right now, so we good to go. But moving on to baseball, just to update the standings. The Blue Jays currently have a 4-game lead over the Red Sox in the AL East. The Tigers are still holding strong in the AL Central with a 6-game lead over the Guardians. And the Astros are clinging to a 2.5-game lead right now over the Mariners in the AL West. On to the National League. The Phillies are still in control of the NL East, only by 2.5 games over the Mets. The Brewers are on top of the NL Central by 4 games over the Cubs. And the Dodgers now have a 2.5-game lead over the Padres in the NL West. Um, After the trade deadline, you had Rafael Devers moving and a couple other pitchers and stuff moving like that. But the thing is, man, like, I don't know, bro. Like, I just feel like water's starting to find its level. Well, now that we're in early August and the trade deadline has passed, this is where we're starting to see teams line up at. And the reason why I said like teams like the Astros, for example, are holding on because they're 4-6 in their last 10. That's why they have that 2.5-game lead. Whereas the Dodgers, they're 5-5 in their last 10, whereas the Padres are 8-2 in their last 10. So that's why the Padres closed that gap on them. And even though the Mariners are 6-4 in their last 10, the Astros are 4-6. That race was close anyway. But when you look at that NL West, that race was close, but the Dodgers have started to fall off, whereas the Padres have picked it up in their last 10. So, you can kind of see why teams are doing what they're doing. And the Brewers are 9-1 in their last 10, whereas the Cubs are 5-5. So that 4-game lead, like, was made up a lot in these last 10 games. So looking at also the Blue Jays have been 5-5 in their last 10, whereas the Red Sox are 8-2 in their last 10. So teams are starting to make up ground and kind of balance themselves out and whatnot. And you just got to really like pay attention, key in now to September. That's when you'll see like how teams are really gonna go in these next few days or whatever, next few months, weeks, whatever it is, with Major League Baseball. Um, Dre says for lacrosse, the Outlaws clinch the number one seed and don't play until the semifinals in September. What, bro? I'm gonna have to. We're gonna have to talk about that because I be. It's weird that they get such that much time off. Is what I'm saying though. It's crazy. Um, it just don't make no sense to me to have that much fucking time off. It just don't make it. I hate that guy. It don't make no fucking sense, bro. Like I always hated that with lacrosse. Like that's just way too long of a fucking layoff. Like you don't play for over a month. Like that's weird. Yeah, bro. Like that's that. Like when he first told me that shit, I was like, wait, what? Are you fucking serious? Like, are you serious, bro? Like, are you sure? That don't sound right, Dre. And he was like, nah, bro, look at the schedule. And I went, looked it up online myself, and I was like, oh shit. Like, what? That's true. Let me see if I can pull it up, man. Cause sometimes this thing that links my phone and stuff, it don't always go the way it's supposed to. Yeah, bro. It won't let me pull it up on my computer for some reason. But Dre has sent me a picture. The Padres cut Martin Maldonado, and Dre wants to see him back on the Astros, which they could use. I mean, you know what I'm saying? No man has ever uttered those four words. He's talking about these four words. No man has ever uttered those four words. Final week is this week, then quarters is the week after, and semis is after that. A month off is too long. They don't play until September 1st. Bro, that's see, shit don't make no fucking sense, bro. 3 weeks off, like that just don't make no sense. It just don't make no fucking sense, bro. It really don't make no fucking sense to have that much fucking time off. Like I hate that shit. That's the shit that be pissing me off about lacrosse that they have so much growth potential in this country that they're shooting themselves in the foot by taking that much time off in between playoff rounds. Like you play 2, 3 games a week or whatever. Why would you wait, 2, 3, 4 weeks in the playoffs? Don't make no sense. Just weird. He says it got the perfect job for Machete. What you got for Machete? He gonna be the new muscle for the bloodline. What the fuck? Oh man, he got tattoos and built like a Samoan. Bro, you stupid. You know what I'm about to do? Hold up. I'm about to text that picture to Marty. Cause Marty Samoan. Hold up. About to ask Marty what he think about this. All right. I'm gonna send that to Marty and see what he think. He may Marty, it may go two different ways. He may laugh and be like, "Oh yeah, that's funny." And then he may be like, "Nah, bro, that's offensive." Like I don't know, because I know how Marty is about his culture and stuff. He take his culture real seriously. Like people with the fake Ula followers and shit, that shit really pisses him off. Like he gets pissed with that shit. So I don't know. We'll see what Marty thinks about that one though. But other thing is WNBA. Nafisa Collier is out for the next couple of weeks with a Oh shit, what was her injury? Ankle sprain. That's right, ankle sprain. Ankle sprain. So we gonna see if they gonna hold a spot. The Lynx right now have a 5.5 game lead over the Liberty, and I want to say they play the Liberty this week or next week, and Collier will still be out for that game. But they got a big enough lead right now to where they're pretty comfortable sitting at that top seed. So I don't think it'll be as big of a deal. But the WNBA, they have had some trades and stuff that's been going on. So it's been running, 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 running. Um, and I love the player movement and everything, but I just want that league to stabilize and become more self-sufficient and ultimately become profitable. And I think that's when that new TV deal kicks in. That's why the ladies were wearing those t-shirts all-star weekend. Like they've earned that new TV deal. They've earned the new money and attention and everything that they're getting. So basically they're just looking for a bigger piece of the pie now that the league is actually going to be profitable and making more money. So that's where that is with that. Getting back to Triple Three's comment earlier. Let me pull it back up. Blah, 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 blah. Have you seen the NFL Disney news? The waters are getting really, really muddy in terms of conflicts of interest. NFL just got 10% of ESPN in the Red Zone deal. Also, take into consideration ESPN has their own betting platform. This is why I wanted to wait until we brought that up till we get to like other sports news and stuff like that, because this is kind of sportsy, kind of businessy, but very newsy. So it is complicated because ESPN does have their own betting platform. However, the NFL has been in bed with betting platforms and stuff like that over the years, especially over the last like 5 or so years, right? So with the NFL owning 10% of ESPN in that deal and everything, it does kind of blur the lines or whatever, but it also kind of streamlines it because there's going to be more federal oversight into what they're doing, point shaving and things like that, because the government is going to look into it a little bit closer because they're going to be like, wait a minute, this look kind of suspicious. Like you're a pro sports league, but you also have an ownership stake in a media company that has its own betting platform. Hmm. No, you got to kind of look into stuff like that. What I'm really most excited to see is how they handle the distribution and streaming and everything. So that's something that I'm really going to be looking into and looking forward to seeing how they handle all of that and how they split everything up. Um, I got a good buddy of mine over at NFL Network, and I just want to see how that affects him and what he does and stuff as far as the coverage that they do and everything else. So, but yeah, I got a couple people that I want to talk to about that and really dig into the weeds of it and try to get their professional opinions, as former players, coaches, scouts, whatever, and just see what they think. But eventually it was going to happen at some point, to be honest with you. I just thought that when the NFL started the NFL network and they had their own media company, I just figured that it wouldn't last as long or it wouldn't be as like exclusive after a certain amount of time. And now we see what's happened, and they've kind of sold it off to ESPN or whatever and given them control of it. So it's cool to see that the NFL is like diversifying and whatnot and kind of splitting everything up. But it would have also been cool to see them keep their own network and keep that going as much as possible and try to like get back some of their TV rights and like kind of keep some of that to themselves. But it is what it is. We'll see how it has to play out and whatnot. Um, but I think ESPN having their own betting platform, they have a betting platform and whatnot. But as long as those two entities operate separately of each other, I don't think it'll be a big deal, to be honest with you, because you can keep those two things totally separate. Rich Eisen knew something. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But I mean, it was perfect timing because Rich Eisen's podcast network and everything was starting to take off. And I know ESPN wants a part of that pie. And they can probably he probably has a bigger operating budget, and their salaries are going to get a bump up by going to ESPN as well. So who knows, man? It's all going to wash out in the end, though. But props to Rich Eisen for getting that deal done, man. Like real talk, that's pretty dope. That he got that done. Um, but yeah, man, that's about all we got.
I ordered 200.
Um, I bet I forgot to mute it. But yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting to take a look at some of that stuff, man, to see how like it's all gonna end up playing out, how it's gonna go, how it's gonna end up or whatever. Um, I just love the fact that it's something different, something interesting, something new to dive into and delve into or whatever. Oh man, wait a minute, these knives look pretty dope. Hold up, I've been looking for a new set of knives too. Man, that one knife is $100 and something dollars. Man, hell no, I ain't paying $100 and something dollars for one damn knife. Got me fucked up. Nah, I'll pay $100 for a set of knives, but I ain't about to pay $100 and something dollars for one damn knife. Shit, you got me fucked up. I don't care how you did it or fixed it or whatever. No, that is not about to be me, brother. Not about to be me, brother. I ain't got it. I need that video you saying, Cal. That ain't me. That's Cal, bro. I keep telling y'all that. That ain't me. That's Cal from Black Wrestling. That was a long time ago. It was about it was like 3 years ago when he did that. That's what be so funny about it, man, because people be like, people be like, they see that and they he just goes chaos, and they be like, oh, that's Jermaine. No, that's Cal. Nah, fam, I'm not. I talked wrestling last night on Gresham Unleashed. Like Tuesday nights is when I talk wrestling. Wednesday nights is just strictly for sports. $100 for a knife. Like I'm not gonna lie, Dre. It's like handmade or whatever, and it's like a real specialty, like a chef knife. So if I was like a professional chef or something like that, I'd probably invest in it and buy it. However, me as just a regular person who just loves to cook and can cook very well, I'm not doing that shit. Fuck that. I still got my old school Black and Decker little fucking knife sharpener or whatever. That's good enough for me. Matter of fact, this weekend, I don't know if I'm gonna smoke them ribs or them pork tenderloins, but I'm smoking some old meat this weekend. Like last weekend, I smoked some fajitas. This weekend, probably pork ribs or tenderloins, one of the two. I don't know which one yet, though. Thought about frying some chicken, but I'm not sure. Um, Whoever has it, LOL, I need that. Oh, shit, I'll send it to you. Again, you didn't text me to remind me about the other shit, so I'm gonna remember to text you after the show. If Utah or Boston somehow sneak their way into the field, I'll be wrong. Bro, like you always looking for like, and this is what's surprising that you actually rooting for a Utah team to do something successful. So hold on, I'm about to take a picture of this comment because I'm gonna need to save that for future reference. Bam. Screenshot it. Yes, Sierra, I'm gonna throw some meat in the smoker. That is not a pause. That's what you do. I smoked some fajitas, some beef fajitas and chicken fajitas. This weekend I'm gonna either smoke some ribs or pork tenderloins, one of the two. Know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro, I'm tired as fuck too. So we about to go ahead and hit this good old theme music.
This your bag, sir?
What?
No, wait a minute. Appreciate y'all tuning in. All 200 of y'all or whatever that tuned in. Appreciate y'all showing love. If you should happen to hit up Keyz, check on my dog, make sure he okay, man. That fever was stupid. So prayers up for him. Hopefully he don't get the kids and shot sick or whatever. But we'll holler at y'all next week, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. We out of here.